Oh, Mamma Mia, Zach, you late to record the Super Mario Brothers movie review. Where are you? Okie dokie, let's go!
Hi, friends. I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcasts.
Woohoo! Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and the Mitch.
Mitch, I think we're doing a podcast, not an Italian get up.
Hey, but my Italian, the Italian. It's a Super Mario Brothers movie review.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where's the cannoli?
Italian hands. Don't forget the cannolis.
Don't forget the cannoli. We are reviewing the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That we are. It's been a long time
not the
coming.
Super Mario Brothers from 1993. The Super Mario Brothers movie. 30 years later. Well, welcome, my friends, to a little movie podcast. This is our 78th episode. We are reviewing the Super Mario Brothers review. So let's do a quick little split up of the episode, shall we? Since this is my number 7 of my top 10.
Yes, it is.
So, first, we will do a brief summary and talk about the studio, the director, the screenplay. That will be and then we will enter our first thoughts. Zach will give his thoughts. I will give mine. Then we will talk about the cast performances, some other non-spoilerly things. Then we will go into our review. My lovely friend Zach here will kindly split that up and describe to you how we do it. And I will give my review and Zach will give his. Then we will sound the alarm and we will give our spoilers. How is that, Zach?
That sounds great.
Well,
all right.
fantastic.
Summary for it. The story of the Super Mario Bros. On their journey through the Mushroom Kingdom. Studio Universal Pictures, done through Illumination. Director is Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek. Screenplay by Matthew Fogel.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mitch, since this is your number 7, I'm actually kind of interested what your first thoughts were on this film.
So I really enjoyed this film. It was so obviously the first trailer didn't really give us a lot and the poster really didn't give us a lot, but the second trailer had me immediately hooked, and that's why I put it in my top 10 if you want to backtrack all the way back. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film and it starts, I really appreciated the pressure that was put into this film because, the original way back in 1993 was just abysmal. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper as King Koopa and Bowser. I mean, that movie, I actually just recently watched it and it's horrible. One of the worst films I've ever seen. Period. Amen. I still think you should see it and form your own opinion, but for me, it's a garbage disposal. But the film itself it's good. Okay. It's not great, but it's good.
Yeah.
Because and clearly the reason why it's not great is because a part of it is fan service, but we'll save that. But Zach, I want your first thoughts real quick.
Yeah. You kind of hit it pretty well. I genuinely enjoyed myself at this time at the theater. It really did a good job of navigating the video game movie stigma in a really interesting way that I did not think would work to get out of the video game stigma of steering into a few things. But overall, I actually really enjoyed myself at this particular movie.
Yeah, I could tell you were laughing a little bit.
More than another movie that we just recently saw. But moving on to our cast performances, let's go ahead and start with one of the titular characters himself, Mario, played by Chris Pratt.
Say what you will, I enjoyed him in this film.
Okay.
I did. I didn't. So there were a few times early in the film I'm just like, that's just Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt.
Sure.
But overall, like once the film got going and you started to see the film click along with the screenplay, because the screenplay kind of picks up around that third act, and I'm just like, okay, that's not Chris Pratt. That I'm starting to get a sense on why they cast him, because Mario is, whether you've played the games all the way back in the 80s and the 90s, Mario is an underdog. He's not like this prototypical like Star-Lord character, and Chris Pratt hasn't really played an underdog before. If you really, you can go into
Star-Lord, I would say, was a bit of an underdog,
but later he became like this big hero. Whereas Mario, like, he's always an underdog. He never just I mean, obviously, you know, overall in the games, he does become the hero, but he's still an underdog hero.
Sure.
And and throughout the movie, I'm like, okay, I see you, Chris Pratt. I see you. You got some decent voice acting ability. What did you think?
I thought his voice might annoy me a little bit throughout it because it doesn't sound as much like the very typical Mario that we are used to. But as the movie goes, you just kind of get used to it, and you kind of learn that this Mario's voice is Chris's. And it's not the most awe-inspiring performance from Chris Pratt. I enjoy him as an actor, but this role was a little bit more played by the rules, I feel like, for him. I don't think they really allowed him to stretch his comedy chops as much on this one. He played it a lot more straight. But I thought it was actually pretty decent. Yeah. Pretty mid-category for him.
I really enjoyed this next actor or actress, Anya Taylor-Joy's Princess Peach. She was wonderful in this film.
She was a big highlight of this film.
Yeah, she was so wonderful. I really enjoyed her presence in this film. And at first I'm like, oh, it's just going to be Anya Taylor-Joy. She's still going to do well. But I was just, I was in awe of her vocal line givings, because Peach, she's not in the games all that often. She's always the
she's the damsel in distress.
But she was really good in this film.
I have to agree with you. To be honest, out of all the characters that we do see in this movie, I feel like it wasn't Anya Taylor-Joy voicing Princess Peach. That was Princess Peach, where I feel like that was Chris Pratt's Mario. I feel like that was Jack Black's Bowser, or maybe not Keegan-Michael Key's Toad. Well, I'll talk about that later. But this was the one where I was like, that is Peach. And I really like that they really didn't play into damsel in distress, so that she was a princess and she is a ruler of a kingdom, and she really plays that part really, really well.
Okay, so you mentioned Jack Black, Bowser. I loved him in this film.
Yeah,
he was so good. I need him to play more villains.
Oh yeah,
I really do. I mean, I love him as Poe and Kung Fu Panda, but him as Bowser, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so good.
And I'm not going to lie. Once you see the movie, you understand why exactly he was casted as Bowser. And it's for that sultry voice, man. It's really, he does such a wonderful job of not only playing the comedy right, but also really being menacing when he needs to be and heartfelt when he needs to be.
Yeah.
And he turns that on a dime, like snapping your fingers, and it's beautiful. He does such a good job. Speaking of beautiful, let's talk about the animation of this. First off, talk about Princess Peach here. That is the best hair animation I have seen in a movie ever.
I would agree with
that. Her
that.
hair is a feat of animation.
Yeah.
It looks so realistic.
Yeah, I would agree.
It looks so good, but the world itself too is also beautiful. Bowser is perfect. Mario is perfect. Everyone looks straight out of the Mushroom Kingdom, and it looks phenomenal.
And there are other characters that it's literally almost taken out of the video games.
Yeah.
There are multiple scenes. Like, we really can't get into it because it's spoilers, but there are multiple scenes of like, okay, this is literally a game. This is literally part of the game.
Yeah. I also have to say it really does a really good job of like differentiating itself of the different kingdoms, like of the Mushroom Kingdom. But one thing that I wish that it would have done a little bit better is differentiating the real world from Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
they were a
agree.
little too similar in my opinion, but minor detail.
Yeah.
Minor detail.
But another thing is the music by Brian Tyler.
Oh my God. This is my biggest standout of this movie.
Yeah.
Is the music. It's so good.
It has a lot of the old throwback.
But it's used well. It's
It
used
is,
for
yeah.
storytelling purposes. I won't tell you
Exactly when and
exactly where, but my favorite use of it is the ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
And there's also
that was well freaking done.
There's another scene with another fan favorite character who I will not get into. Did you hear me go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that I gotta save that for spoilers.
It was but genuine tip of the hat to Brian Taylor, because that is amazing work you did with that score.
He's a very fan servicey composer.
Yes, but he used it well to the story, which
Yes.
is what I have to bring his hat to.
Okay,
and
now,
then
you go ahead.
Loyalty to the games. This is where I feel like this movie really could have hurt, but it actually became its strength.
Right.
Because the video game stigma is, how do you turn a video game into
A movie.
a movie? While many video game movies struggle with that, Doom in particular did a really terrible, we're going to go as heartfelt to the game as possible, and no story came out of it.
I would also include the Super Mario Brothers
Or the
1993 film.
That one, it strayed so much from it
Yeah.
that I think, so you really, finding that balance really just doesn't know what to do. This, I was surprised, turned into the video game-ness of it. I feel like they were going off of, okay, we want to represent this, check. But they did something really good with it, is how do we make it intrinsic with the story? How can we make it part of the story?
Right.
Not, oh, we need to do Mario Kart.
Or
We need to
Smash
shove it
Brothers,
down
yeah.
or Smash Brothers. We need to shove it down. No, they actually do a wonderful job narratively of feeding it into the story.
Right.
That's a props. I will say, in terms of like, is it better than like Sonic? No, I think Sonic did a better job of telling a story, but I think Mario did a better job of representing the franchise of Super Mario Brothers.
So speaking of feeding into it, I think it's review time.
I think it is review time. All right, my friends. So if you are new here, welcome, my friends. We review movies a bit differently here.
We do.
We'll start with our bottom tier, which is what we say feed to the dog, where we feel like the movie is not all that great, but you should still see it to form your own opinion and feel what you're going to do. Then we move to cook a little more, where we feel like this movie maybe needed an actor change, a script change, a director change, something to kind of push it up to our next category, which is Eat It Up, which we feel is a really good movie. You should see it in theaters if you can, or as soon as you can in streaming or physical media or whatever whatever means.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mitch, this is your number 7, my friend. What do you give the Super Mario Bros. Movie as a rating?
Oh, I ate this up. I ate this up like one of the mushrooms. But yeah, it's just the whole and I'm one of those people that I look at reviews before I see the film, and I started noticing that it was very fan servicey, which to me, it can hurt a film.
It can.
But this film, it had the right amount of fan service that I really, really enjoyed. And the film had a good plot. If you really dig down into it, it had a decent sized plot. And the voice acting was very, very well done. The animation was superb. The music really had me smiling from ear to ear. It's just, I can't wait to see what they could do.
Yeah.
Because this film's going to be a success.
I think so too.
And I really enjoyed this film, so I'm going to give it an Eat It Up.
Yeah.
Zach?
I will eat it up too. However, I will say, I will give it with this one caveat. Its weakness is its screenplay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, now, again, I say that it uses its video game nature very, very well. However, the story around it, its dialogue actually hurts. It reuses a lot of dialogue throughout. It uses a lot of reasoning, and when they could have dug into characters a little bit more, but it still serviced it well, and it still came out with a actually pretty decent script.
Sure.
We've seen worse. We've seen a lot worse, and at the end of the day, I had fun.
Sure.
So I enjoyed it.
All
so
right,
it
my
was
friends.
Eat It Up.
So before we get into our spoilers, thank you so much for joining us. Leave us a like.
Leave us a comment of what you think of what Super Mario's. You think they could have used an extra cameo, or do you think that it was a phenomenal movie?
Well, and also comment on if you've seen the 1993 versions.
We would love to hear what you have to say about the 1993 movie.
Of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on our other sites such as Twitch, and hopefully if a certain other site isn't banned, but
TikTok Shorts, anything, man.
yeah, anything. Okay, but now it's time for our spoiler section.
Yeah, you can. I know you got something. Oh, you don't have something?
I do.
What you got?
DK Donkey Kong. He's the leader of the. Okay, I can't go any
All
further.
right, we're into spoilers, my friends. So welcome everybody. The Easter eggs are galore in this movie. Like Mitch
Literally
said before,
from like the first scene, you see the original voice actor of Mario playing the original Donkey Kong game. You see like the side-scrolling bit. You didn't really see a lot of Smash Brothers. I mean, you did.
You did. It's to be honest, it's a big part of Act 2 is the big Smash Brothers scene, but it's Mario Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It's not as like Smash Brothers
like with other characters.
So I guess it's more like Smash Brothers with a Mario skin, more so, but it's still there.
But you
and
see,
it's really good.
You see Donkey Kong, and it's the old DK rap from the Donkey Kong 64 game, which I played profusely, and I know that song literally. Like, just ask Zach. Like when that song came on, I'm like,
oh, he
yes!
cheered. He cheered. It was great. I personally love the ocarina. Bit that they used as an antique shop. They used, what are you supposed to do? You just blow in it. I was like, stop.
The Mario Kart sequence was
Mario
really good.
Kart was really, really good. I really did love that as well, and it was very good narratively to use it as a as an escape scene and as a racing scene. I thought that was really, really good.
One thing, sorry to cut you off, Zach,
Yeah.
but there's one thing real quickly that I think they touched upon, but I wanted more of it. Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
They touched upon it
I thought
a
that they were
bit.
going to do it for a second. They only really alluded to it musically.
Yeah, but I think they could do it.
I think they could. I thought they were going to have... I thought Bowser was going to find him in Luigi's Mansion for a hot second.
Yeah, it was really neat.
But it ended up not. But that's okay. But let's talk about the big post-credit scene that really comes out of here, which is they sequel bait us with Yoshi.
Yes, it was cute.
It's just his egg hatching, which I love. But it's so cute, and I
Yeah.
love it.
And
And I
I
really hope that they really do bring Yoshi into this. You see Yoshi's running amok in the adventure scene, but you don't actually get a lot of time with Yoshi. So I would love to actually see Mario interact with Yoshi a whole lot more.
And
on the
Yoshi
next
didn't show up until Super Mario World.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, the Illumination might have a possible franchise.
I think they do. One thing that I think that they need to be cautious on, which I think I kind of felt a little bit, I think Nintendo had their hands a little bit steep into the script. Yes. I think Nintendo, I enjoy that you are very protective of your properties. However, in terms of movies, I think you need to loosen the reins just a tad
agree.
that Illumination can do what they do best.
And tell the story.
And tell the story. Because Illumination does tell really good stories when they are set up for success. Like in the original Despicable Me franchise, if we go into Minions and... But like Life of Pets, Despicable Me, they know how to tell a good story. So trust them. They have success. Trust them a little bit more on the next one. But that being said, that's our review for Super Mario Brothers, my friends.
We really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment. What did you think of the film?
What did you think of it? We want to hear from you.
And also, if you've seen the 1993 version, let us know your thoughts. Do you want us to review that film? I just recently watched it. I already told you what I thought of it, but hey, I would still review it.
You'll go into depth. But anyway, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com if you want. And give us a like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, whatever you got to do. But until next time, my friends, I'm Zach.
Let's go. I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcasts.